Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Williampierre, here back in another video, and today I'm going to be playing Blox Fruits with another review or showcase, and today it's going to be light. I hope you enjoy. So, starting off, the light fruit is a early game Logia fruit costing $650,000 in the store. The light fruit being a Logia, of course, has the basic effect that a user not using Haki cannot hurt it. That's already a pretty good effect for early game players. Its moveset consists of a beam, a barrage, a movement-based ability, and an area attack. There's also the flight. The flight is the fastest in the game, but with the constraint that you cannot do anything while flying. You just bounce off walls. Which can still be useful, as you can change the general direction. Let's say if you want to go to the Colosseum, you can be there very quickly. Only takes like, I don't know, 10-15 seconds to get from the building of the pirates over to the Colosseum. Which is very fast, and I believe it gets even faster with the awakened form. Like most Logia in the game, except I believe the only Logia in the game that doesn't really have an awakening is Smoke. I'm not entirely sure, but you'll probably end up getting the actual numbers in another video, but it has an awakening. Of course, there's a light raid that I had to do recently to be able to get all of the form awakened. Starting off with the moveset. The light beam, it can be held down, by the way, for quite some time. Long range attack. It can hit pretty far away. In fact, let me try that over there, that tree. Also, short to medium time cooldown. Okay, it doesn't quite go to that tree, but it's quite long range. It goes from here to there. Light Barrage cannot be held down. Oh wait, no, it can. Can be held down. It's just the awakened form that can't. Decent range as well. Also, not incredible damage. Something unique about it that is only shared with the ice fruit is that it has a weapon. When you hold it out, you can't disable it or anything. Let me test the barrage range. Okay, so that's also a long range attack. The light kick, when I said movement based, not entirely movement based, it's still an attack, but it has a dash effect. It's just another attack that kind of has medium to long range. Let me try this out as well. Okay, I don't think that even hit them. So maybe not long range, I'd say more like mid-range. And Sky Beam Barrage does not have any range. So, it is very short range because it's meant to be an AoE attack. It affects an entire area. Now for the Awaken moveset. So moving on to the Awaken moveset. As you can see, other than with the names having pretty much a god complex in them, because you have Divine Arrow, Swords of Judgment, Lightspeed Destroyer, Wrath of God, they kind of give the impression that you're kind of in another realm of power, which isn't entirely false. Starting off with Divine Arrow, it's definitely higher quality, and has just as much range as the first attack, with even more damage. Swords of Judgment, this one, as I did mention earlier, cannot be held down, and it has less range than the first attack, from what I've seen. Although, of course, much higher damage. I'm pretty sure there are also more attacks. Lightspeed Destroyer is a unique attack as it has nothing to do with Light Kick. It is basically an epilepsy trip. It's kind of a movement-based ability, as you do move towards your enemy, and you do a bunch of consecutive kicks or punches or whatever you're doing, and then shove them into the ground, which does even more damage than the Divine Arrow, so it's somewhat useful. In PvP, it's mostly used for getting to your enemy and stunning them temporarily. The main effect of Light is its stunning ability. With that, cannot move for a full, like, half a second to a second. And with that attack, they can't move during the entire barrage. Or do anything. Wrath of God is, of course, the awakened version of the other attack. Let me get two pirates together to show you. This one is also, just like the rest of it, as you can expect with the name being light, it is not good for your eyes. And finally, the light flight has some control, but with angles and a cooldown between turning, that is quite horrendous. And you have to move around your camera or your mouse. Yeah, it's pretty confusing. That's kind of the only downside of the flight, but other than that, it is very quick. And because you can change direction on the spot, it's incredibly useful for travel in the second world, especially. In the first sea, you can get from point A to point B in 5 seconds, basically. I believe the sword changes too, and keep in mind, it changes with hockey. Yeah, it definitely changes. The main thing to keep in mind about the sword is its power is based on power fruit, or devil fruit stat, instead of the sword stat. As you can see, I have 0 into the sword stat, and yet I do 1,700 damage. Of course, increase in damage there too. Now, overall, the light fruit has very poor damage for an awakened Lurgia fruit. You compare it to something like Rumble, especially Awakened Magma, or just about any other Awakened fruit. Like Awakened Rumble, Awakened Magma, Awakened Ice, which not really, seeing as it's basically just a stun fruit. Awakened Sand, Awakened Quake, even though it's not a Lurgia, because it has like the highest damage in the game. But any Awakened fruit pretty much beats this thing in damage, because its whole thing is, one, it's a Lurgia, meaning, let me prove it to you, will not hurt me at all. And also, its flight, which I just demonstrated can be very quick, and is literally unrivaled. You could have agility plus a speed build on V3 Mink, the fastest race in the game, and you still won't catch up to this thing. I might do a racing video at some point about that, just to prove my point. It is very quick. As for the final score, and like tallying up all the problems with it, and good parts about it. 1, low damage. 2, medium to long range. 3, 2 movement abilities, or somewhat movement-based abilities. All of its attacks have AoE except the Lightspeed Destroyer. I think, yeah, Sword of Judgment does have AoE from last I remember. In fact, let me try that out, seeing as I did not show you it. I know for a fact Divine Arrow and Wrath of God have AoEs, they're literally made for it. Yeah, no, there's AoE. It's probably not the biggest AoE, but it exists. Of course, unparalleled speed. It has the highest speed in the game by far. So I have to give it that. Overall, depends on what seed, because it's also cheap, by the way. That bugged out a little. It's very cheap for a fruit, as it's early game, and has low requirements for mastery compared to its competitors, which are up there in the hundreds of mastery required. I would definitely give it a solid 8.5 or even 9 out of 10. And as for when it's best to use it, C1, literally the best fruit in the game. In the first C, nothing beats it. Because Lurgia, extreme speed, range, low mastery requirements, it's just great. The second C, on the other hand, it's still pretty good, if you awaken it. If you don't awaken it, you're basically bad. But the moment you awaken it, it becomes usable, and pretty good, actually, in the second C, because, once again, speed. Third C, on the other hand, I've heard it's literally garbage. Because in the third C, it's all Soul, Venom, Dragon, Awakened Magma, Awakened Ice, or something in between. It's not Awakened Light most of the time. Mostly because Awaken Light has little to no potential for combos, which combos are everything in the 3rd sea, because in 3rd sea it's all bounty hunting and sweats, and 1v1s. So the 8.5/9 is one of the highest I would give any fruit, because it has everything you need, just not in extremes, except for its speed. And that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the shorter model of my showcases instead of going on for 10 years in a rant with another guy. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace out.